welcome to episode 2 of NYR After Dark, late night Rangers talk to the fans who never log off. We've got a good episode today, obviously. We are talking about our reactions to the draft, right? Lots of big stuff happened there, and then we can also just react to all this crazy stuff that happened, kind of the week leading up, all the movement around the NHL and trades and transactions and whatnot. Then we're going to get into free agent leftovers, who's left over, who's out there, UFAs, RFAs, some realistic options, some non-realistic options. And then we're going to round out the episode with each one of us is going to pick up a player for a wake-up call, which is basically just, talking about a player that we think needs to step it up in some way, shape, or form this upcoming season. Yeah.
What a crazy week we have seen. That was
dude.
That was wild, to be honest, for the whole league, especially obviously the Rangers, but like the whole league. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. I mean, we'll just get into the first segment, which is, kind of our draft reaction and kind of making a verdict on how Drury did, which, I mean,
can we just
say it now?
Can we just round of applause for the guy?
Yeah.
I mean, he's Drury sitting in the dark. All these moves are happening. We're just sitting here like, Drury, what are you doing? Like, everybody's getting traded and stuff like that. We have big trade chips. We have Trocheck, Schneider. We're waiting for one of them to get moved. And then what do you know? Just in the background, this guy, the McTavish thing, I think he was just using that as a distraction. And then out of nowhere,
I mean, if he was using the whole McTavish thing as like a smokescreen, that is impressive. And I'll be honest with you, you may think that I don't think he has the brains for that. But I'll give him credit either way, because we ended up with Dorofeyev. Like, you can't complain.
I know.
There's nothing to complain about.
And it was funny because we were watching the draft at your place, and it was me, Tommy, and my brother, and Tommy's on the toilet, and then me and my brother are just sitting there, and then all of a sudden on the trade alert goes off. We just look at the screen or whatever, and then we just hear like Vegas trades Dorofeyev to my brother's a diehard New Jersey Devils fan. So when they said new, I was like, no. And then they said New York Rangers. And I looked at him I'm like, no way that just happened. And then Tommy texted me when he was on the toilet.
But, yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was obviously, like I said, I'm sitting there in the bathroom and I'm like scrolling on Twitter, and I saw it and I was like, no way. And then I sent it to you. I sent it to Ivan, and the minute I said that, I hear them screaming. My baby wakes up in the other room. Yeah. Like, he was freaking out.
My bad.
No, God, totally worth it. So I couldn't believe it. And I can't believe he pulled it off, if I'm being honest. And not even to mention that, like, to not give up the 5th overall.
It was funny. That. I guarantee you 100% of Ranger fans, your first thought was the 5th pick's gone. Like, it's Dorofeyev.
Yeah.
We're like all the trade rumors for Jason Robertson. It was like the top 7 or the 7th pick or whatever to Seattle. Sorry, Seattle, by the way. We're rough. Go there. But Chase Reed did fall to you, so you kind of got that one. But yeah. So like, I thought it was going to be the 5th pick, 100%. And then when we heard the package, I was like, I literally said to myself, I was like, low key, that's kind of like a fleece. I mean, the 26th.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
26th.
I felt like it.
And then even the 2028 first rounder being
future
top
first.
10, but top 10 protected. I was like, Drury.
And we're in a retool.
Exactly.
We're expecting to be in a better position by then anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I was
honestly. And we got him for what, 7 by 11 or 11 and a half. 7 by 11 and a half. Was there clauses? Did we check that?
No, so they don't have the clauses yet, but the clauses might come out at a later time. Right now, it doesn't show anything. And if there's no clauses,
either way though.
No, either way. Everybody keeps saying like we overpaid or whatever. You got to remember the cap's going up. 11 million might seem like a lot right now, but
in 7 years, it means nothing.
Yeah, when you see more and more of these players start signing for larger numbers than 11, you're going to be over here thinking Drury in like 1 to 2 years when you're like, okay, we got Doro scoring like potentially 40 goals a year, and he's making 11 mil, while like other players, Jason Robertson, he rejected a $15 million deal.
Well, yeah, I mean, not to touch on that too much, but that was all location based. He does not want. He doesn't want to play in Seattle. He wants to be a defender.
I know, but still, like to reject 15 mil, like in the NHL, especially. I tweeted that out. I was just like, that seems wrong to do in the NHL. Because
Well,
15 mil
and
a
it was
year is a
closer. It was
lot of
closer to 16. It was 15.625 or something like
yeah,
that. It came out
yeah,
today. But either way, insane. So 7 by 11.5 for Doro. I mean, hey man, that's a jersey I'll be getting for sure.
oh, 100%. I
That's a
mean, that
game changer.
yeah, that just I mean, like elite scorer, like our
Hmm.
power play is gonna be dirty. Having Mika right shot and then Doro left shot on opposite sides, it's gonna make our power play so open. It's just gonna I feel like it'll flow so well,
I
and
agree with you. I agree with
I'm
you. He's a
excited
great
for it.
fit. He's a great
Yeah.
fit. He's a top six player.
Mm,
It's everything we were kind of looking for. And honestly, like up until this point, like, and I'll admit it too, I was big on like Drury says this is a retool and he's doing nothing. And this is like a kind of a waste. And this immediately puts us back into retool. Is it the finishing touch? Absolutely not. But it definitely puts us back towards retool. And I feel a lot better about it. And
yeah.
that's phenomenal. And then on top of that, um, not that everyone was crazy about the pick, but I still think it was a good pick, picking Smiths at fifth overall. I was happy with it. I'll be honest with you. It's when we talked about it last week, I had him. I think we both had him for like it
Yeah, both
or
had
live
it for
with
like
it.
it.
Live with it.
Yeah, because we kinda
We
knew it was like that was the pick.
right, and this is the
Yeah.
guy who NHL ready, which people fucking hate that term, but seriously though, like that's
He's like he's not like a Leon Sanders. Like he's actually NHL ready. I mean, like Olympics, he was logging like 22 minutes a night. He destroyed Matt Boston Matthews on a hit. Like he's been playing against men, and he's been Latvia's like workhorse on the back end. Like this,
absolutely.
yeah, this player is actually like NHL ready. Like I think he'll be in our lineup next season.
No, he will. He slots right into the two spot lefty. What you guys could kind of expect from him? Highly offensive. If you haven't really watched his game, super offensive minded. Um, but does a great job of killing the rush. He can get caught sometimes, but I mean, you pair him with a dude on the right side, which I won't even pick a partner yet because we'll find someone, but you pair him with someone who's a little more defensive minded, and I don't think it's a problem at all. I really do. I think this really solidifies at least our top three deep men right now. I'm very, very happy. I mean, even maybe like I don't know. I can't think of someone specifically. I really think we're gonna end up finding someone, but very, very happy. And then even you look later in the draft, like they drafted a lot of D men, which to me was a little overboard.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I'm happy you said that because I actually agree with that.
it was a little overboard, but they grabbed this kid, and I'm gonna butcher the last name,
Mm,
Cherenko.
is that the
Dude,
center?
the
No, that's
kid's
the D.
yes, no, he's a
The
center.
center. Yeah,
He's
that's the
kid
center.
a spitfire, man.
Yeah.
Kid's awesome. I mean, I definitely did a little bit of research prior to the draft looking into him, but he was super late, and I had him going, I think, late second, early third, and we ended up grabbing him in like the fifth, and he's a phenomenal player, man. Like that's a kid that like he reminds me of almost like a Sakura, where like he could crack the lineup. He could crack fourth line, third line potentially. So, great job by them. I mean, I couldn't, not that I couldn't be happier because we did pass up on, Reed and, personally I would have liked Carroll's, but I, I'm so satisfied is probably the word, satisfied with how everything kind of went out, you know?
Yeah, I just so one passing on Chase Reed kind of hurts. That one when he fell to us. Well, one by the way, Daxon Rudolph going forward. That was crazy. Didn't
Nobody
see.
saw that coming. Nobody.
I don't think anybody had that in a mock. Then Chase Reed fell to us, and I was like, oh, we're definitely taking him, right? And then I mean they stuck to their guns. Apparently they really like Smiths, and I see why. Like my favorite part about him is just like one he's a workhorse, and two is his defensive stick. I mean, you talked about it last time with like Keandre Miller, how he has one of the best defensive sticks in the league, and I like that about Smith's game. So I'm excited about that. He can also like make a breakout pass and stuff like that, which I feel like our defense is in dire need of. But
Absolutely. And
yeah,
they
all
came
the
out and said they wanted a puck moving defenseman. That was like a
yeah,
big thing they said in at the postseason presser was they want that. So they got it in the draft and they got a young guy. And I mean, you look at some of the ages coming up, man, like we're poised in a good spot for the next couple of years, which is sick.
everybody. I know everybody worries also that he's like a cocky kid and stuff like that. But like I feel like that kind of works in New York as long as
You
you
kind
like
of need it because
yeah
Think about Keandre. Keandre was the opposite, and he was a little sensitive, and it didn't really work out. And he had admitted once he went to Carolina, that like the mental aspect of it got
It
to him a
got to
little
him.
bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think Smith will be a little bit more resilient to that, which will be nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
like we said, like with the draft, I thought it was a little heavy on the D in the sense of like I'm very big on centers, and we don't have our D like our pipeline is shallow on everything, so it's not like I understand why they went D heavy, and I feel like this draft was just more D heavy in general, and
Yes, no, it
but
definitely was.
they only got the one center, which I'm happy they got a center, but I wish maybe they took one less D and grabbed an extra center kind of thing. But like they
Yeah,
said, I read a bunch of reports and they were just like, "Hey, this is how the draft fell." So, like I said last pod, if I do trust the Rangers with one thing, it's like drafting in the later rounds, and I'm gonna let them do their thing, and then hopefully we do see some of them in the NHL someday. But
I'll tell
overall I was pretty happy with it.
I'll tell you what, that Tarango kid, I think we'll see him at least like high level AHL, like leading
Yeah,
Hartford a little bit, which would be cool.
yeah, I agree.
Um, so then we had, obviously the Rangers with their draft, but then the week leading up, man, the, I
That
mean,
was wild.
you kicked it all off with, I mean, you can go even further back in and call Larkin, where it just coming out and saying he wants to be traded. That was a big thing, but Brady getting dealt to Florida, which some people claim they've seen it coming. I don't know. When you have a guy who's a captain in a place and he's been there for a while, um, it's kind of hard for me to just see like, yeah, he's gonna leave. He's gonna like when you were in your captain, that's kind of not expected. So and there had been rumors, but he denied all of them. Him and Steos both denied all of them and came out and were like, no, that's not what happened. That's what's happening. That's all bullshit. And then he gets dealt to Florida and he's playing with his brother. I mean,
I mean, the people who say they saw it coming, you might have saw it coming, but no one saw the trade coming this soon. Like I could see in the last year of his deal getting traded to, Florida and something like that. But like to get it traded this early, also their return wasn't that bad. Obviously they got basically what was it, like four firsts out of it, or the equivalent to four first round picks. And that trade, I thought they were gonna get Hellebuck or someone. I didn't think he was gonna be Brady. I mean, we tweeted and we were like, "Oh, is Helly coming now?" And obviously it ended up being Brady, and that was just. I'll say like I said, I did not see that one coming. That was kind of
no, no, and I still personally, I still think Hallebuck has a chance to go in there because Bob's out.
I
I
know
mean,
they just said that earlier. Yeah.
he's going to free agency. I mean,
hmm
that's it. So you had that, and then you get Bowen Byram going
Well,
from Buffalo to Chicago,
yeah, that was the
which for the
yeah
fourth overall, and you're
yeah
like,
that
wait, Buffalo was a solid contender this year. Now they have the fourth overall. Like,
yeah. That was I mean, I feel like that's also why everybody thought we were giving up the fifth pick because like they gave up the fourth pick for Bowen Byram. Like I was like, the cost of these players is expensive right now, and that's why like I call it a fleece because we didn't give up the fifth for Doro, who's like a potential 40 goal scorer, and
right,
Bowen Byram, like yeah, I know he thinks he can be a number one D man, and I think he could not like top 10 number one D man, but like between like 12 to 20, I would say. But like
I
you're
agree
also
with you.
taking that risk there. So it's like Doro, like he's had 2 seasons of 30 plus goals. We see how he plays in the playoffs. Yeah, he didn't have a great Stanley Cup Finals, but the playoffs he was great. And he gets to like the dirty areas. He's like the goal scorer you want. And the fact that we didn't give up a fifth and they gave up a fourth for Bowen Byram,
Insane, absolutely
kudos
insane,
kudos to Drury for that one.
for real. And then again, because we got 9 different things to talk about in this one week. I think all of them were on Tuesday too. Alex Tuck, Jordan Kyrou both signed to Washington. So
hmm
now the Caps, they're on the verge of losing Ovi. They got 1 year left, maybe. And you sign these 2 guys. I mean, Tuck seemingly was like, what's gonna happen? Is he gonna resign in Buffalo? Is he gonna just take the highest price somewhere else? And then Kyrou, I feel like Kyrou even last year they were talking about like St. Louis was talking about moving him.
Yeah,
And they both
he's been
ended
on
up
trade
with the
rumors.
Caps.
Yeah, he's been on trade rumors for a while. The Caps, taking the draft outside of this, the Caps and I think Buffalo and the Sharks were like, I thought they all had like great whatever, like a week stretch there because like like you talk about retool, like the Caps. That's I know the Caps did a great retool. I know like people like disagree on the Tuck thing because of his age and he got the term on it, but like I
I
still
don't
feel
think
like that.
so.
I still feel like
I don't
that's a
think so at
great
all.
move.
It was a great move, and Yarmo has
Yeah,
been killing it all week.
yeah,
He made, in my opinion, he made one mistake, and that was making that fourth overall pick, and that was the only thing.
like
Beyond that, and not even
yeah,
because of who it was, but just in general,
yeah,
making it. But I couldn't believe those two signings. I was like, they're immediately back in the running. Like, especially with how weak the East was, they're immediately back. And now, like, you look at it, Ovi's gone, and you don't like when Ovi's gone, you don't feel so bad. You
yeah.
got a guy. Yeah.
I think Ovi's gonna sign one more year because like
No, he will.
yeah, even if he's playing like third line and just on the power play, like it's still Ovi. He'll still score you
That's
like
Ovi.
20,
Yeah.
25 goals, whatever he does. But I thought the Caps honestly did a great job with their moves. And I'm a big fan of Connor McMichael. When Trocheck was in trade rumors during the deadline, I said I was just like I would love if he went to the Caps for Connor McMichael because that was also a trade rumor. So I think the Blues did a pretty good job on like assets they got and stuff like that. But yeah, the Caps impressed me, and also like that's also why I'm happy Drury got Doro because the Metro's getting better now, so like we have to keep up and stuff like that. So yeah, they did well.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. Then you get Eklund going to the Sens
It's not
from
Brady.
San Jose to the Sens. Right.
Yeah,
It's not Brady, but it's a guy, and it's a young guy.
yeah. So they kind of have to try to make the best out of the worst situation. So and you know what? I respect them for not that they would tear it down, but like not throwing in the towel and being like, "Oh, our captain left. Like, what are we gonna do now?" They're making moves and trying to get in a better spot. So I do respect that from Ottawa. And fans, obviously, you could be upset at Brady, boo him every single time he goes to that
I
arena,
mean,
but like, you got to respect what the GM's doing there.
listen, Florida's used to the booze.
Yeah, yeah,
They're no stranger to that shit. That's not going to be a problem. Then you get Simone Nemec going to Calgary,
yeah. My brother,
which
my
yeah,
brother
he
was
was
not
upset.
happy.
But
Yeah,
it had been. I saw on Twitter some Devils fan had made a joke like, well, I mean, I guess fifth time's the charm because he's requested a trade every time Luke Hughes makes a mistake or something like that. Like it was like this poor kid has been trying to get out forever. So he goes to Calgary. They've got some solid young dudes on D there. Zane Parekh is phenomenal. Um, they just drafted Carson Carroll, so now in a couple of years you got him. Who again, like that was my pick for the Rangers. Like he's gonna be sick. So their blue line's gonna be gross in 2 3 years. Honestly,
yeah. The Nemec move surprised me for the Devils because one, like I thought they could have packaged him to get a bigger piece. The Devils, to be honest, to me, did not have a great like week in draft. Because I don't think I think it's Command that they drafted the center
yes,
at
Alexander
the
Glenn.
yeah. I think they should have tried to package that pick and try to get like a roster player that can help you now and stuff like that. Like they need
Mhm.
size in their top six and they took that pick and then traded Nemec for more picks and stuff like that. They could still flip picks and stuff like that. I would have been a little disappointed if I was a Devils fan.
Yeah, I feel like they're wasting their window a little bit, which sucks.
Yeah.
Their Brat, Hughes window, Jack Hughes window. It feels like a waste, especially when you really throw that Quinn hope in the mix, where it's like, I feel like there's just an even chance that Quinn goes to Jersey, that Jack goes to Minnesota, and honestly, maybe even a little more that Jack goes to Minnesota once everything lines up in contracts and whatnot.
Yeah. I will
Just
I
purely
will
from the success of the team.
Yeah, I will say I will say today they did ask Billy Guerin about like how the Quinn extension was going, and his response he like paused for like 5 seconds, like while after they asked, and like it seemed like he didn't know how to answer it, but he was just like, "Yeah, we're in like the very beginning stages of preliminary talk," and I was like, "Oh, like that did not sound good." So, I mean, who knows?
But
Like Brady left to go to Florida. You never know. Like they, I don't think it'll happen this quick. I don't think he'll be traded right away because Billy G did put you know put
yeah, he dumped a
everything
lot
on.
into it.
Yeah, exactly. So I would stick it out a little bit, but you never know.
I love Billy G. I think he'll, no matter what, I think if he ends up sending, like Billy G's the kind of guy that I could see them like, if he sends Quinn, like imagine he gets a Luke in return. And everyone's like, wait, no, no, no. And he's like, listen, I made the deal. Like Billy G's that kind of guy where he's going to get something in return. He's not going to come out the loser in that trade. So um, we'll see how that goes. And just kind of like recapping, there was 2 top 10 picks that had gotten traded, which is crazy. You know, it was supposedly going into this was like, oh, a top 5 pick hasn't gotten traded in the past. I think it was like 30 years. And then you see Buffalo grab the 4th overall. So it's like that just kind of sums up how crazy the week was. And we're not even done. I still have more. We've got Mason McTavish going to St. Louis, which, you know, the Rangers were looking at getting McTavish.
I would have personally, I would have liked a McTavish move just because I think the Rangers need to try to find that young center to bring in because Mika, JT being 33 and Trocheck, he's 32, obviously probably on his way out, but like you would like to bring in a young center. I know McTavish has his issues and stuff like that. He has holes in his game, but he's still a young center. You bring him here, he can develop into something. It's just like taking it back to when we traded Broussard for Mika. Like Mika
Mhm.
wasn't like flourishing in Ottawa. Like he was the 6th overall pick for them, and he came over here and he turned into what we see today. So you never know how they turn out, you know.
No, absolutely. And change of scenery could be a huge thing. A huge thing. More opportunity, little things like that. Um,
I am happy that we didn't do that deal, by the way, because they
Me
gave
too.
up.
I mean, looking back,
Yeah, they gave up 2 firsts for
hindsight's
that.
2020, but
Yeah, no,
fuck yeah,
exactly.
I'd go Doro all day.
Yeah,
And then you got Costa, Sebastian Costa going to Utah, Olin Zellweger going to Buffalo. So again, like another guy that they're like bolstering their or they're getting in return instead of Byram, which is nice. So they're kind of replacing that, which is nice. And then Paterka to Boston. Um, lot of moves, lot of
it was
moves.
just, it felt like the NBA for that week. It was crazy, just all the
It
moves
did
that we were saying, because it wasn't just like small moves; they were like big moves. Like that was like,
lots
you
of
know,
them, and
yeah,
just a lot of them, and kind of all at once, all within that Tuesday that we were talking about, which is crazy.
yeah.
Oh, geez. All right. So moving on, you know, kind of what's left, right? We had that crazy pre-draft transaction period. We had the draft, and now you're looking at like almost like the remnants of what's left. And like when you go back and think about it, like who was supposed to be a UFA this
Oh
offseason?
my, that
It's
list was
wild. No, it's wild.
the
It's
list
wild.
was crazy.
It's wild. And then coming down to it, like some of the names I have on here, I'm like, how is this the cream of the crop for this group? You know what I mean? And granted, I don't have a lot of RFAs. I might have actually excluded RFAs on here completely just because you know every year we hear the offer sheet thing. Oh, it's going to be offer sheets. It's going to be offer sheets, and it really never is, right? So I didn't want to get too far into it. I know Robertson's a big one for people. They love talking about that. Um, and I'm sure there's a couple other guys out there RFAs, but I'm more looking at it like who are we going to be able to see as a UFA that could potentially fit, or maybe even just is like not a terrible thought because we can sign them on a short term or something like that. So I just want your reaction to each one of these guys, and I'll give you a little bit about each one of them just to for people listening, just to make sure. So number one, which I actually don't think is a bad option, is Anthony Mantha. Good size, 31 years old, winger, 64 total points this past season, 33 goals, 31 assists. I don't think he's a bad option. If we can't find anyone else to fill that other wing spot, I I mean you'd have a hard time convincing me he's a bad option now. I don't know if I feel like he's a great option, but I don't feel like he's a bad option. What do you think?
So for me, when it comes to these free agents, and he's on this list of that, I don't want any of them long term. If Mantha was just like, hey, I'll sign like a 1 to 2 year deal with you to like maybe like a prove it again contract, because that's been Anthony Mantha's thing.
Yes.
He's never been consistent and stuff like that. And like I know before his injury with Calgary, he was playing very well and everything like that. And then I forgot what he did, like tore his ACL or broke his leg,
Yeah,
whatever it
something
was.
like that.
And then obviously this year in Pittsburgh, like it's he like that whole team outperformed what everybody thought they were gonna do,
True. Very true.
and that's the thing that scares me with Mantha. If it like I said, if it was a short term deal, yeah, maybe I would take him. Is he our best option? I don't know, um, but like long term, I would not want Mantha. But it's also just because like I said, like this is a retool, so it's just like I'm looking for fillers, not maybe because none of these people are long term options to be honest, except for you know Mr. Drury is AJ Greer probably, but yeah, I don't know about Anthony Mantha.
Okay. Next, I got Mason Marchment. Okay. Left wing, could play center potentially as well. 31 years old, 45 total points last season, 19 goals, 26 assists. Another guy that I'm like, could be an okay fit for a short term deal. I mean, I think him, I'd be willing to give a little more, maybe 3 or 4 years, just because I think his play style could, and Mantha too. I think his play style could potentially fit a lower line. Like right now, yeah, sure, we put him on the second line, but maybe he bumps down to third, maybe he bumps down to fourth. I think their play styles aren't awful.
Yeah, I think the problem with Marchman also is he's gonna have a market out there. Like teams are gonna want him, and like if we're trying to sign Marchman, I don't want to sign him to like a large AAV, and like I'll let a different team make that mistake. I don't want Drury to like give someone a lot of money just because he's like, oh, we're retooling it, we need you now, like kind of we need to fill this gap. Like I don't want that mindset. But like I said, I'm not big on any of these free. I mean, you probably say one or two that I'm like, oh yeah, I would do that, but I'm not big on any of the free agents.
No, that's fair. Here's one I know you're not. Boone Jenner, center, left wing,
Yeah,
33 years old. Listen,
on a cheap
38
option though.
total points. Cheap option.
Yeah.
13 goals, 45 assists. Like a guy who we know can hang in the league. Again,
Mhm.
a decent leader and mentor, right? He was captain over there. Is it my favorite option? No, but it's an option.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, bottom six, short term deal, low AAV. He was the cap. I mean, he was the captain of Columbus, obviously. Like he's a leader, and he's a center, and he plays heavy and stuff like that. So like that one as like you know 1 year deal, whatever. Like I wouldn't mind that one actually.
Yeah, you can live with that, right?
Yeah,
You can live
bottom
with that one.
six. I mean, I miss my boy Sammy Carrick. I feel like we could.
Oh my God, Sammy Syrup. I'd take him back in a heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd take him back in a heartbeat. All right, here's one that actually floated across me today on Twitter that someone had brought up, and I really wasn't even thinking about him, but such a solid option. And I did also see that he was potentially looking at re-signing with Buffalo, but Beck Malenstein, um, 28 years old, winger. He only had 14 total points, but he's a bottom sixer and he's fast.
Mhm.
Kid is quick, and someone floated his name today to me, and I immediately, for some reason, thought of Yaro Melash, Noah Laba, and Beck Malenstein. And I was like, that is a line I would love to watch. Like, fast as lightning, aggressive, like everyone's go, go, go. Um, what do you think about Beck Malenstein as an option?
I mean, the speed speed wise, I love that. I mean, I feel like the Rangers are a pretty slow team to be honest. So
Hmm.
I don't mind adding speed. I mean, Doro's pretty fast, so that was a nice addition there. The problem with the Rangers is just like if there's one thing we have plenty of, it's bottom six forwards. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's why that's why we saw like Berard got shipped out, Edstrom got
Edstrom.
shipped out. Yeah,
I know
like
we could
it.
talk about that too. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Like
geez, man.
we have bottom six guys that you know can fill those holes. So it's like, do I want to? Because they're also younger than he is because he's 28. And obviously, everybody else for us is like 23 or younger. So, um, yeah, to be honest, I would prefer to just give our young guys that chance in our bottom six than sign him. But
I agree with you. Like I said, it was just an interesting thought because that was a guy I hadn't even really been thinking about as far as free agency. You brought him up earlier. I mean, and this is like a Drury prototype, AJ Greer, right? Wing, 29 years old, so decently young, 32 total points, 17 goals, 15 assists. Give,
the thing
give me
about
what you think.
what he doesn't do, drinks milk, drinks whiskey. Like that's that's why
You
they're
mean
gonna
he
want.
doesn't drink milk or he doesn't drink whiskey?
No, doesn't drink milk, drinks
Oh, he's a
whiskey.
whiskey drinker. No,
Whiskey, yeah,
I agree.
whiskey
I
drink.
agree.
Yeah. So he, the thing that scares me about AJ Greer is like obviously like, well, he's 29, but he also wants term on his deal, so that makes me a little nervous or whatever. But it also just kind of reminds me of when we signed Barclay Goodrow. Like we wanted a bottom six guy who had like Stanley Cup experience and stuff like that, and then we paid him a little bit too much because like we gave him probably the most money that he was offered because we wanted
Hmm.
him, and then we saw how that ended. So I don't know, if that's the best way to go, but
I agree
like
with you.
he does. he does play hard. So that, I mean, like, he plays heavy, he would play hard, be hard to play against.
And
So
that's what they want. And that's all we keep hearing about Drury and Sully is wanting to be hard to play against and more aggressive, blah, blah, blah. So again, another one that I could see potentially um, his name getting floated out there. Whether he's a fit or not, we'll see. Here's one that for some reason on Twitter got me yelled at for going on 10, 11 hours now, Zuccarello, right? So I had posted just a question like, let's see if Zook, what would you guys do if Zook got offered? I think I said 2 for 3.5 mil AAV. And that to me makes kind of sense. I think he'll go for more, honestly, inevitably when he signs somewhere. But to me, you're bringing in a veteran guy who has been here before, right? And ended up wearing a letter at one point. So, yeah, he's 38 years old. We know he had 54 points last year.
mhm,
54 points, and this is a guy who we're talking about potentially putting on a line with Dorofeyev. Like this, he can set up a shooter like nobody else. Not to mention, he's a fan favorite. I, if it was 2 years for 3.5, you'd have a hard time convincing me that that's a problem. Again, that is contingent on like young guys are not ready yet for those spots. But I think he'd be a great mentor too. Like I think
yeah,
at 5 or 6, I'm not as happy. But what do you think?
yeah. I I have a lot to say on Zooks. So one, the nostalgia of it, like you bring back the Zooks chance to MSG. I was all about Zooks, the Broussard, the bromance. I loved Zooks when we I think it was when we were in the finals and like McDonough hit him with a slap shot in the head and he like couldn't talk for a few days and stuff. I just remember all of it and like I feel like if we had Zooks in that playoff series, maybe it would have been a little different for the cup run and stuff like that. Um, I see people's like worry about it because everybody on Twitter was complaining. They're like, he's 38 years old. He's gonna, play top 6 minutes, PP1. He's gonna take time from the young guys. To those people, other than Gabe, who is he taking time away from top six? Like we don't really we that's an open spot in our lineup is that top like our second line right wing or left
Yeah,
wing or whatever.
we've got guys competing for it, but there's no one set in stone.
Yeah, but also like do we want realistically do we want them in our top six? Like yeah, they prove themselves and prove that they can play in the top six and produce, but they're all really bottom six guys. Like and like you just said, like I agree like Zooks could be an amazing setup guy for Doro. He's not like Zooks isn't fast and everything like that. Yeah, like we said, he's 38 and everything like that. Zooks has such a high hockey IQ that like he doesn't need the speed and stuff like that. Like he can play at his own pace, and he's like you said, 54 points or whatever, and that wasn't even in 82 games because I'm pretty sure he was hurt.
No, he was,
So
and that's another thing is that I do think people have concerns about that, the injuries, and that makes sense to
yeah,
me too. I totally get it, but like this is not a guy we're signing because everyone's freaking out. They're like, we're not a contending team. No one is saying sign this guy because we're a contending team. Hell, I'm cool if we pick him up, let him be a mentor, let him ball out a little bit with Doro, and then get rid of him at the trade deadline and give him to a contender and take him off the team, whatever. I just think there are more upsides to bringing him in for whether it's a year or 2 years or just to the deadline than to not even explore it. You know?
I think I mean you're describing like the filler piece of a retool.
Exactly.
Like yeah, and I think people forget like Zuccarello plays with what's his name? Not Kravtsov, Kaprizov, and Kaprizov obviously like an elite goal scorer in this league loves playing with Zooks. Like you have to think about it like that. Like Kaprizov, like I said, Kaprizov, top goal scorer in the league, wants to play with Zuccarello because of how he plays. He can find him. He has such a high hockey IQ. He's a playmaker. Like that's let's be honest. JT, like yes, he can play make and stuff like that, but like
Yeah, not like
do
that though.
yeah, not like that. Like I'd rather have like Zooks on that, and then also at the same time, like because people were saying like PP1, like he'll take a spot away. Zooks doesn't have to play PP1; he can play
He
PP2,
he'll be on PP2. He
and
doesn't
and
need you
also
on PP1 at all.
yeah, and then also like you don't think a kid like Gabe could learn a lot from Zuccarello? Like
I mean, that's his
I
play style.
yeah,
That's his play style as a playmaker.
I think there would be a lot of benefits from getting Zooks. The AAV, I don't know where I'd want it. He made like I think 4 mil in his last contract. with the cap going up, does he want more? He's not coming
I
here to win
can
a cup, you know?
I can just see another an actual contending team signing him for. I think today I was floating around 5 or 6. To
Mm,
me, that's what I can see. You're right. The cap's going up, stuff like that. But again, for us, I think my limit would be like a 4, probably 4 mil AAV. I think I'd be okay with, and that would be it. More than that, I'm like, all right, we don't need it that bad, you know.
yeah,
Um,
my thought was 5, but I mean 4. I'd be fine with 4 too,
yeah,
obviously.
whatever you think too. Honestly, that's my point. It's just right there. My last UFA. Now this is very near and dear to my heart. Um,
Don't say Riley Smith.
your your reaction is not gonna be great, and it's just it's the same thing with Zooks for other people. This is my Zooks, Riley Smith.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Yeah, let's leave Riley Smith to the other teams in the NHL. I don't want Riley Smith,
I mean,
but
he's not a serious option. It's
no,
funny. I saw his name come off and I went Riley Smith, the most insignificant Ranger in history.
yeah,
Like, dude didn't even play a full season with us. I just I hope he re-signs with Vegas.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all I have to say.
Just so people know, we have an inside joke about Riley Smith. That's why he said Riley Smith.
Yeah, Riley Smith is my guy. I
Yeah,
love him forever.
yeah.
Um, so what do we think happens by July 1? I mean, July 1's coming up. It's is Trocheck moved? Is Schneider moved? Do one of these UFAs sign with us? Like, what do we think happens?
So I think the most likely outcome would be AJ Greer because I know like that's just Drury's kind of guy, so I can see that one happening. The Zooks one, I'll be honest, I did like when I first like was jotting things down. I put Zooks, but I put him more as like I don't think he's actually gonna come to us because like why would you leave Minnesota? Like he's best friends with Kaprizov and like they they are cup contenders. Like why would he want to come to New York? But then a
Hmm.
report came out today that apparently he is not happy with like how Billy G handled something, and he's gonna test free agency. So like now who knows about that? Trade wise, that's where I think Drury should like continue to focus is like the trade market because like I said, none of these free agents are going to be like long-term pieces for us. Like we have major trade chips in Schneider and Trocheck. Like, you know, I think that's where the main focus should be. I tweeted this out earlier today. Like, I still want the Rangers to try and trade for like a young center, whether that be like take a flyer on Shane Wright, Connor Zary, or
So
Larry.
I no, I love those two, and to me, and because there was a little bit of smoke going into it. Buffalo about Trocheck, right?
Mhm,
Pretend Buffalo Trocheck wants to stay on the East Coast, wants to stay in the U.S. Buffalo's not a bad option. They got a couple of guys over there. Quinn is not a
mhm.
bad option, and the or McLeod, however you say it,
McLeod. That's McLeod.
McLeod. Another not bad option at center, younger dude at center. So you go for Trocheck for one of those two guys, or one of those two guys, and like a pick. Like I don't hate that, and I would hope at least around July 1st we're making those moves because really there's been nothing on the and I know they're waiting for Larkin to get moved to kind of hold the market again, but I mean, come on, that's a no-brainer if we can get something like that.
I mean, I don't even think Drury can wait for Larkin because at this point, like Stevie Y came out, they asked him about the whole Larkin situation, and he legit said like, "Listen, I'm not making any guarantees. Like, I'm doing what's best for the Detroit Red Wings. If I could trade him, I'll trade him. But if not, like, I'm not gonna be
I'm keeping
forced
him.
to do it. Yeah, to
That's how
do
it
it
should
basically.
be.
So I don't know if like Drury can necessarily wait, and I maybe that's a good thing that like he said that because it might force teams to be like, okay, like Dylan Larkin's not a guarantee. I have to go get Trocheck. And like you said, like Buffalo, they've been making moves, and I
No,
wouldn't mind.
Yarmo's not
Yeah,
fucking around.
yeah, and I wouldn't, to be honest, I wouldn't mind either of those players because even though they're not, or McLeod's a center, I guess, but like they fit our like young timeline, like getting younger and stuff like that. So like that move, I wouldn't mind at all.
No, I
Um,
love this, but I do love the Connor Zary. I think Connor Zary is a good option. I think that's more. It scares me though because now Schneider going to them doesn't really make a lot of sense. They just added a shit ton to their blue line. They're not going to need him.
well,
Um,
they came out and said they want a second round pick for him, and if it's a
Yeah,
late if it's like a late second round pick, I'll take the flyer on Zari. Like, no problem. Like, I know he came off an injury and stuff like that. The the other player that I mean, I was texting you about this earlier today. I was looking at Dallas's cap situation and even taking Robo out of that. Like, they are actually in a mess right now. I think their mentality was Sagan's going into the last year of his deal making like a little more than 9.5. I think they wanted to trade him at like this year to get out of that 1 year, and then he got injured and now he can't be traded or whatever. And their cap situation is not great. And
no, it's bad.
not only is Robo RFA, but so is Maverick Bork. And if I was Drury, I'd be figuring out a way to go get Maverick Bork because
I agree.
I don't know what Dallas is really gonna do because even like Robo wants like whatever 14 mil, like they would need to actually still move pieces, and they still have like a bunch of unrestricted free agents and RFAs to sign.
They do. They have a bunch.
I don't know what Jim Neal's going to do over there, but I don't know. Like I said, I would like Drury to continue to focus on the trade market, and he did a great job on the Doro one. Like, hopefully, we continue to see like trades go more our way because I feel like in the last like year, every trade we've made has gone the other team's way. Like,
No, you're right.
and like the stuff we got for Truba, Kreider, like even giving up Keandre Miller, like Scott Morrow, like hasn't
Panarin.
worked. Panarin, forgot about that one. I mean, Liam Greentree, you never know,
I
but
know.
like, it's just I just feel like we've been on the wrong side of trades, and getting Doro like felt good finally to be like, wow, like yeah, we won. I feel like I mean, you'll never know until the end of it, but like it feels like we won that trade. We got the guy, you know.
And Borg,
And
I don't think Borg's a bad option, but again, like going back to kind of what I said earlier about offer sheets and whatnot, I just don't see it. I won't have faith till I see it. Really, I
yeah,
mean,
if it's gonna be an offer sheet, like I don't see offer sheets happening for like a player like Robo, like where you're giving up like four
no,
first round picks and like if you do a lower end,
no,
like if you do a lower end Maverick Bork, like I can see offer sheets like that
sure.
because like Dallas, like I said, Dallas only has 9 million cap, and if you did offer sheet Bork, depending on the price, obviously, like whatever you're giving up like a second and third round pick or whatever, like that wouldn't be that horrendous, especially because Bork's like I think Bork's like 22, he plays center, he's good.
No, he's a good
Um,
option. He's a great
yeah,
option.
yeah.
He's a great option. All right. So last segment here, wake up call. So give me your person that this season, this preseason, needs to step up and take either a bigger role or just needs to perform a little better, or it kind of just shows like, hey, I'm ready for this retool as well. Like I'm going to be part of this.
Yeah. I'm picking Drew Fortescue for this, but not in like a negative way. It's more so like I'm happy with what we saw in it was a small sample size, obviously 9 games or whatever, and he only had 2 assists, but like I feel like he very much held his own. Like he seemed to play with confidence, like he wasn't a liability out there. Yes, he did have sheltered minutes a little bit like that. He played like what, I think it was like 15 minutes a night. But like he seemed I don't know, he seemed good
His
defensively out
play
there.
style
Like
was solid. His play style
yeah,
fit the league.
yeah, like I really liked it, and I want him to continue with his development. Like I hope like this offseason he gained a little bit of size and stuff like that. Like I don't think I still think some AHL time would be good for him and stuff like that. Like continue your development, but like in a year or so, like I wouldn't mind if he was like in our starting lineup as like a consistent guy. Like I thought it was a small sample size. I get it, but like, I thought he did very well with the small sample size.
No, I agree with you, and I think honestly, maybe not right out the gate this season should he be in our lineup, but I think midway through, definitely by the deadline, like if we're if we're at a point again where we're like we need to play the youth, that kid's got to be in the lineup. You pull him
Oh
out of
yeah,
Hartford, and you got to put him in the lineup because he is a future, bottom four pair, but still, you get him in there because he is going to be a staple and a consistent guy down there, which is really nice to have.
I
I
don't.
think we need something like that.
Yeah, nah. I'm tired of seeing Vakanainen, so boot him, get Drew out
Yeah,
there.
we know you don't like her, huh? I know.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him.
So for mine, I got Liam Greentree. For just a quick background, we got him in the Panarin deal. Um, Last season in the OHL, he had 74 points in 52 games, um, 38 goals, 36 assists. He's a 30-year captain. Um, He's this big, large power forward. He's got a crazy shot. The guy's a fucking nail gun. He doesn't give a shit. I mean, he's got great physicality. This is a guy who is meant to be in the league, you know, and kind of a guy that people look up to, even if he is a younger guy on the team. Do I think he starts off immediately in the lineup for the Rangers? No. I think he needs probably a season or two in Hartford. But to me, like, this is a guy who needs to have a strong preseason showing. Um, and then who knows? Maybe he makes the team out of camp. Again, like, this is a kid that, like, I think we have to do a little movement when it comes to the top six if he's in there, because you don't want him and Doro on the same line, because those are two guys that are just like shot makers. But having him up there with a guy like a Gabe or a guy like a Laugh who can set him up, I find it hard to believe that he won't have a really strong showing with the opportunities given to him. And again, like being a third-year captain on his OHL team, like I think he could be a Ranger for his career. Like this is one of those guys that it feels to me like he'll sit around and stay loyal and earn a leadership role and wear a letter with pride and hold people accountable and kind of what we wanted JT to be. You know what I mean? Like what we didn't get from him. So I think he's a really, plus he's young. This is a guy who would be awesome.
Yeah, it,
I'd be so happy with him making the lineup
yeah,
mid-season. If he makes it by again like January or even trade deadline, very
yeah.
happy. So
You know what he is to me. He is underage whiskey drinker. You saw that clip of him when he was at the face-off dot, and someone like smacked his stick, and he smacked the stick back out of his hands. He just looks at him and goes, "You think I'm that afraid of you?" And I
yeah, you
loved
think I'm
it.
fucking
Like,
scared of you?
yeah, he was, I love that toughness in him. I think like I personally don't think he's gonna obviously like make the team this year. I hate rushing development on players, and I know the excitement of like getting them here and stuff like that. If he comes into training camp and stuff, like he has to have a good rookie camp and stuff. If he comes into training camp and he like lights it up, yeah, give him a shot. But like I don't want to rush his development, and I think it'd be best for him to like continue his development in the lower leagues and stuff like that, and then come up. But like we we traded Panarin for him, so you do really want him to work out, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah, and like and everything you just said to about him, his leadership and stuff like that. Like I can see that as well. Like I can see him like being having a future letter on his chest, and he seems like he seems like a guy that's like loyal and plays with pride. Like and
Absolutely.
yeah, and I really like that about him. And obviously he's got a wicked shot. So,
No,
but
and I fully agree with you. I don't want to rush his development either. What I'm saying is he needs to wake up in the sense where I want to see a good showing from him wherever he is, whether that is Hartford, whether that is, as a 13 forward coming in every once in a while, whatever his role ends up being wherever he is. I want him to succeed and I want him to have a good camp and I want him to kill it. I want him to force Sully to go against his like brain and be like, next, whether it's next year or whatever, to be like, we got to put this kid in the lineup. Like he's got to force his way in. Like that
well,
is a kid who needs to.
different players, obviously, but it's like Laba. Laba like forced his way into
Same
our
thing.
lineup last
Yep.
year. Like he
Should have
played
been
so
Yuso.
yeah, he played shut up. he played he played so well in the preseason and obviously like forced his way on the team and he played like pretty consistently well until he got hurt, obviously, and then he came back and he was a little you could tell he was like still coming back from injury and stuff like that. But I mean, listen, if you have an opportunity, try to take hold of it, and that's exactly what I want Liam Greentree to do. I want him to take hold of any opportunity he gets because, like I said, we traded Panarin for him, and I would love to see him come to the Rangers and actually like succeed in his career. And the lifelong Ranger thing, like there's a lot of Rangers I would love to do that. Like I feel like players are different nowadays, but like I said, I feel like he's got that pride in him and stuff like that.
For
So
sure.
yeah,
I agree with you. All right, man. So that was episode 2 of NYR After Dark. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to follow us. We're on X, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on it all at NYR After Dark. Um, I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. We just hit 100 followers on Twitter today, and that was a big deal for us. We we're doing this out of purely the love of it. So thank you guys for listening. Please interact. send DMs, send whatever you need, and we'll see you next week for some more Rangers late night talk.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate the discourse.